you can see that is clearly a total disregard for another human being's life. What did she think was going to happen? Or maybe she didn't think at all. But 12 hours in that suitcase, he's probably all like doubled over and can't even, his diaphragm can't even expand that much. That's really the horror of this thing. What she was doing was letting him know she's boss.
Pretty much. Damn yell from the chat. That whole mens rea thing at Professor Geary. Well, people are learning stuff from you, Mike,
That's right.
from the professor here.
Thank you.
Melissa, she has no soul and she laughs. She will get what she deserves. Yeah, I would think that hearing her confession, hearing her interview by detectives is going to really hurt her a lot. I'm going to show some of her testimony in court just the other day.
Any further witnesses, evidence, or testimony, sir?
I'd like to call Sarah Boone.
Sarah Boone, the woman accused of zipping her boyfriend up in a suitcase and filming him as he struggled for air, says her interview with police should be thrown out. She testified in court this week that her rights were violated and that she didn't understand what was going on inside that interrogation room. You got everything you need to know from the Florida defendant's most recent court hearing. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Elizabeth Milner, in for Jesse Weber. The case against 46-year-old Sarah Boone is finally getting closer to a trial in Orlando, Florida. Boone was arrested in February of 2020 when her boyfriend, George Torres, was found dead inside a small suitcase in their apartment. Boone claimed they had been drinking and playing hide and seek when Torres got into the suitcase. She claimed she forgot he was in there and fell asleep. She got up hours later. Torres was dead. But Boone's story that it was all a terrible accident was questioned when detectives found videos on her phone of her taunting Torres while he was in the suitcase.
Sarah.
For everything you've done to me.
Sarah.
For everything you've done to me.
Sarah.
Thank you.
Jury selection is expected to begin in the case next week, so the attorneys have been hammering out last-minute motions with the judge, including wanting to throw out an interview Boone did with police after Torres was found dead, as well as a motion to allow Boone to wear makeup and civilian clothes during trial. So let's take you back to February of 2020. When the investigation first started, Orlando detectives spoke with Boone at the scene in their police car, and she agreed they could take her phone. She claims when she contacted them to get her phone back the next day, they tricked her into coming to the station for an interview where her attorney argues she wasn't properly Mirandized.
You know, Mike, one of the things is that, first of all, Kat in the chat, thank you so much for the 1999 super sticker. Very much appreciated. But the police tricked her into coming in by saying, oh, you want your phone back, you got to come in and we'll give you your phone. Unbeknownst to many people in the public, the police are allowed to trick you. It's called a ruse, commonly known in the criminal justice field. If they know that they want to interview you and they know that you don't want to get interviewed, they can trick you into coming in the way they did in this case. And a defense attorney can argue that my client was tricked, and the judge could say, yes, case law says the police are allowed to do that. You want to speak upon that, Mike?
Yeah. The Supreme Court is ruled on this, and all the courts in every state has ruled on this because everyone has tried this. Every defense attorney has tried this. So long as the police obey the law when it comes to the Fourth Amendment, the Fifth Amendment, the Sixth Amendment, Miranda, search and seizure, things like that, they can say things to you and suggest things to you that may be untrue in order to see how you react. So they may want to talk to her, but they don't want to drop off her phone and stop off at her house because they would need permission to come into her house, and she could deny it, and then they won't even get a chance to talk to her. So you say, come on down to Station House. We'll give you your phone back. Okay, come on down. Oh, by the way, could you just do us a favor? We just want to ask you a few questions. That's all. No problem whatsoever. We see this. We saw it in the Soto case. That's the way it goes. They're not violating any sort of constitutional right. They can always say and suggest things that may be untrue just to see how you react. There's not, that is well-defined case law. A lot of defense attorneys will always raise that. They'll always, pound on the table, my client has been tricked. But that is not the case when it comes to, judges in any state in the union. That's something that is clearly allowable under the Constitution.
Mike, when I was a sergeant in Manhattan North Homicide Squad, when we would have an important witness or perpetrator to interview, many times they would say, interview me right here. And we'd say, no, that's not how we do things. And basically, I used to compare it to, if you play a sport, do you want to play on your own home court, or you want to be a visitor? No, you want to be on your home court. And the other thing is, in interviewing either witnesses or defendants or potential perpetrators, you also need computer work to be able to do as you're testing their veracity or testing what they're saying is true or false. Because if you ask anyone that you interview, have you ever been arrested before? 90% of the time they'll say, no, I've never been. And then you run their name and the computer starts just spinning page upon page out of the criminal history. So if you relied on the person you're interviewing to tell you the truth, not just that, have you ever made a complaint report against someone in your building? And they tell you no, and then you look and you see they're a habitual complaint filer. So all those are good reasons as to why you want to interview someone in your own home court, in your own precinct, in your own detective squad, not on their home turf, because that gives them the advantage. Let me go back to this recording here.
Here's some of what she had to say in that 2-hour interview.
My intention was not to leave him in there. Please understand that. My intention was not to leave him in there.
But you went upstairs thinking that he could get himself out, but the video shows
That's what I told
point
you.
can I see his fingers.
He'll be up here any minute.
And then 30 minutes later, he didn't show.
And he's telling you
And I
he
didn't
can't
wake
breathe.
up.
Do you
He's
think
not
he's
able to get out.
joking? You told me he was laughing, and
We were
the
before.
video, there's no
When we
laughing.
first got in there, both of us were.
So how long was he in there for? Like, this video is at 11:12 when it starts, so was he in there for like a long time prior to you
No.
recording this?
No.
So it goes from funny to no longer funny,
But
and
I
you're the
didn't,
only one laughing.
but I didn't think that he was like panicky. Like
So pushing up on a suitcase saying, Sarah, 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 I can't breathe.
George has done that in the past before too, where it's just like he thinks that he's woe is me kind of thing, where it's like
He's never been locked in a suitcase, that's
No.
where he couldn't get out, so.
It's kind of, I thought it was
And
the
you know
boy
the oxygen.
crying wolf kind of thing.
Okay.
And again, my plan.
But nowhere in there is he laughing, is he joking, he is begging. And you're the only one laughing,
Okay.
and you're the only one saying derogatory comments, like you're mad.
No.
Every day we cover a lot of chilling stories, just like Sarah Boone's case on Sidebar and Law and Crime.